I am so glad the Francis Ngannou hype has died down now. It got to such a stage where people were going so overboard with it that they actually thought Francis Ngannou was like the second coming of like a prime Mike Tyson. Like, I don't want to be a Tyson Fury apologist. Like, there's no two ways about it. His performance was hideous last time he fought against Ngannou. It was all wrong. The game plan was excellent from Ngannou. However, this is a very good point to make because it is a valid point when it comes to Tyson Fury and analysing where he was probably at mentally in that fight. Right, so yes, he should have easily beat Francis Ngannou. We can all agree with that. AJ did what he needed to do. Tyson should have done that. Maybe not, knock him out necessarily, but to just completely dominate him on points. For the record, I thought Tyson won that fight by maybe a round or two. It was a very, very close fight. It wasn't a robbery like some people were saying. That's ridiculous. But anyway, he should have beaten Ngannou very easily, but he didn't. And why didn't he? Well, there's probably many reasons for it, but the main reason is Fury is not motivated when he fights people that he believes are significantly lesser than him in terms of boxing ability. For example, Otto Wallin, who he went life and death with. Even the third Deontay Wilder fight, which previous to that he completely dominated him, and then he had to fight him again, which he wasn't prepared for, nor was he really interested in fighting him again. And he got knocked down multiple times. Obviously, finished him in emphatic fashion at the end of the fight in the 12th round. But there is a consistent theme with Fury where he is at his top of his game when he is fighting the elite of the division, and he is motivated for that fight. For the first two Deontay fights, the Vladimir Klitschko fight, etc. So that could be one of them. Also, the fact that Francis Ngannou is a complete unknown quantity. And also styles make fights as well. Ngannou is a fucking unit of a man, built like my LG fridge. He is massive. And Fury is used to having a sizable advantage over basically all of his opponents. But in this fight, Ngannou was clearly the stronger man. And what Ngannou did brilliantly is he anticipated the great feints that Fury does all the time. He feints, he creates angles, and Ngannou wasn't having any of it. He was pushing him back, which Fury now is he's adopted that Kronk style, that power punching style, and he wants to push you back, but he was going up against a guy who's built like my LG fridge, and he couldn't do that. So I'm not trying to take anything away from Francis Ngannou's performance. The game plan was fantastic. He was brilliant in that fight. But what I'm trying to say is, styles make fights. They always will. Boxing math doesn't work. Just because you nearly beat X doesn't mean you can beat Y, and so on and so on. So after this fight, I was kind of baffled at the response to this. Well, actually, I don't know if I was actually, because we know boxing fans, combat sports fans especially, they just exaggerate everything and they go overboard with absolutely everything. Like, yes, the performance was brilliant. Were we all shocked by it? Yes, nobody expected that at all. I expected Fury to clear Ngannou out instantly, like maybe 6th round, probably stall him for a little bit, play about with him, bit like I was kind of expecting the Derek Chisora third fight performance, or the second fight as well, just complete shut out, won't allow Ngannou to do anything. That's what I expected. It didn't happen. So I think the shock factor definitely plays a part in how people perceive this fight. No, Ngannou didn't win. Yes, it was a close fight. We can agree with that. But the fucking going overboard with Ngannou's performance, man, it was insane. Like, oh no, he can beat him now. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. No, just relax. I know hindsight's always 20/20, but I was planning to make a prediction video for that fight, and I predicted that AJ would KO him in like the 6th or 7th round. So I expected AJ to knock Ngannou out, and that isn't just me saying, oh, well, after watching the fight, yeah, this is what I think now. No, that was genuinely what I thought, and loads of people thought that AJ would KO Ngannou. Because AJ has now got a trainer that suits him, which is great because he's been going through a trainer merry-go-round for quite a few years now. It's been pretty unstable, and all trainers have a different philosophy of fighting. I've really liked Ben Davison for years now, and so many people hate him. And I think it's not based on anything that he's done as a boxing trainer necessarily. I think it's his David Brent personality, possibly. I think that's what people don't like about him. They think he's the David Brent of boxing, which is fair enough, I guess. But like, if you can't just judge the man as the trainer at the same. You can't judge them as the same thing. You have to kind of be objective and take away your biases against him as a person and evaluate him as a trainer. Is he a good trainer? Yes. I've always thought the way that he analyzes fights, he's so analytical. He's one of the new breeds of boxing trainers. He's very young. He focuses on data, and he adapts to every fight. And look what he's done with Lee Wood. Like, what he's done with Lee Wood is absolutely insane. I know people won't give him much credit for Josh Taylor, but he got Josh Taylor over the line against Jose Ramirez to get undisputed. Obviously, Shane McGuigan built up Josh Taylor. I'm not denying that. But Ben Davison is quality, and he's brought AJ back to where he needs to be fighting, which is to be asserting himself and going for the knockout, which he has done now against Hellenius. He stopped Otto Wallin, battered him, just dominated him, and he also, utterly destroyed Ngannou. And what I really liked about AJ in this performance is his demeanour, the way he walked out, and I've noticed this for the last few ring walks now. He's not totally enamoured by the whole kind of the scenery, the lights, the camera. He's just there, a bit like, people could take this out of context, but Mike Tyson, the way Mike Tyson goes into the ring, where he walks in, just fucking doesn't give a shit about what music's been played or the fans around him. He just goes straight in there. He knows what he needs to do, and he's just got pure violence just running through his head. And I like that about AJ. In this ring walk, he was just straight in, and he looked assured about himself. He realised that this guy is nowhere near on his level, and you could see that by the way he celebrated afterwards, which, well, lack of celebration. He just barely flinched. He was like, yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. I cleaned him out. What next? That's what I loved about it. I loved how relaxed he was. He wasn't, particularly, eager to just, jump on Ngannou when he dropped him for the first time. He was just like, no, cool, that's going to happen again. Because Ngannou was just ready for that right hand consistently. I mean, Ngannou's defense was embarrassing in this fight. And, I think Ngannou has probably checked out now. I don't think I still really want to see him fight Deontay Wilder. Like, that would be a dream fight for me in boxing. What the fuck's PFL doing, by the way? Like Jake Paul's never fighting in PFL. Neither is Ngannou. So, are they getting, like, a percentage cut from these fights? Or are they getting some sponsorship? What is the incentive for PFL? Like, I don't understand what's going on there. But I don't know if Ngannou's coming back to MMA. I think he got 20 million. That was the figure that I kept hearing consistently, so I don't know if that is what he got or not, but, we all know it's, infinitely more than what he got during his UFC career. So, is this going to be a case of a Conor McGregor kind of Floyd Mayweather situation where he gets so much money from one fight, he's just checked out and, barely fights anymore? Who knows, but just let him just get on with it, man. He's just become a world champion in the UFC. Well, not just, that was years ago now, but he's done that. He's changed his life completely. So, fair play to Ngannou. But the hype that he got from just overreactionary fans, man. That's what it is. Fans just taking it too extreme. And I'm so glad that hype's done now. So what next for AJ? Well, they've been talking about another fight prior to, obviously, the winner of Usyk Fury, which is a good thing. You should stay active. A bit worried, though, we're going to have another situation where AJ loses and then, we don't get to see potentially AJ v Fury. I know I've just completely overlooked Usyk there. I'm not overlooking him. That's just a fight I want to see, Fury v AJ, from a UK perspective. But the next fight for AJ, I would really like to see him fight Joseph Parker. That would be a great fight. Or Zhang, but Joseph Parker, because he was the winner of that fight. They can have a rematch. Last fight, AJ outboxed Parker. That fight was hideous, by the way. That referee just completely stopped any sort of action from happening. It was boring as fuck. But yeah, AJ, Joseph Parker. That is the fight to make, in my opinion. Joseph Parker is on a brilliant run. Beat Zhang, beat Deontay Wilder. I don't know where this resurgence come from, because he didn't look great in the last few fights prior to the Deontay Wilder fight. But Andy Lee's working some magic over there, so fair play. Joseph Parker, AJ, that is the fight to make. Whoever wins that fights Fury v Usyk.